Hi, I'm Tara Walrod, and this is my parental apathy case study for EDL 856. What do I know? Well, I know Mrs. Rose is the new assistant principal. I know her new school has had little contact or involvement with parents in the community. I know the principal is kind of on the line here of not being sure if the parents want to get involved, is leaning more towards feeling they don't want to be involved, but I'm feeling like he's being a little bit flexible with letting her have a meeting and things. He did schedule a meeting about parent involvement, although he makes it very clear it's for an advisory group only. And we know the invitations went out through the students and only 8 parents showed up. And we know the principal is not in favor of continuing the meeting because of the low turnout. What do I need to know? Overall synopsis or demographics of the community. What are the economics, the businesses, the diversity of the community leaders, political structure, community associations and groups. I would love to know the history. I think, why did the PTO end? Maybe a little bit of history about the community and the traditions of the school and community, and then the overall community power structure. And then why has the principal changed his focus from in the beginning of his career to wanting a PTO to somewhat opposing it now? And then why is the principal not willing to listen or encourage Mrs. Rose to work on parent and community involvement? So identifying the problem. I feel like it kind of looks on both sides. On one side, why are the parents and community not involved or interested in being involved with their child's school? And then why is the principal opposed to continuing to try to engage parents and community? So it's on the part of the school and on the part of the community. So some just questions I was thinking was like, does it have to do with availability? Is it communication breakdown? Is there apprehension in some way? So what is the plan that I would put forth, and then what strategies to make that happen? So I kind of put together a lengthy plan of different ideas of things that Mrs. Rose or I as an assistant principal would do. First, I would start with the 8 that showed up at the meeting. I think I would encourage the principal, or I would offer to lead that meeting, but I think going ahead with the 8 that are interested that are there is a start. And then I also feel like because it's face-to-face, you're going to get so much information from those 8 parents on thoughts about what's going on. I also think I would take some time to research the community. So I would research all of the things: political structure, diversity, association and groups, traditions. Then use the research to develop a survey, because I think you need to get some true hard data on the pulse of the community in relation to the school. And then when you give the survey, pay attention to comments. What are the percentage of parents that feel comfortable at the school? What are the roadblocks? Parents who would like to maybe be involved but for whatever reason can't. Things like that. Number 3, is there an overall message from the survey? So are they happy with the school? Or do they feel their child's needs are being met, or their needs are being met? And then when are they available? Maybe it's a working community and everybody works full time, so during the day is not the best time. I also think you need to use the data to set some goals in getting parents and community more involved. So Mrs. Rose can collect research on the types of support that a school can get from a PTO, both financial and educational, and then share that research with the principal and interested staff. That it's really important to have that organization. And then offer to facilitate the process of actually reorganizing and meeting with the PTO regularly. I think that in order to re-engage, she's going to have to offer to do it. And then number 6, after that, begin to develop a PR plan. How do we get these parents back in these doors? So talk with parents about getting back involved in the school, and that's going to have to be done big time, face-to-face, email, newsletter, social media, school website, Facebook page, letters home, all the above. I think we're going to have to, after that, start setting up involvement opportunities. So sign-ups, and those probably need to be on paper and electronic, depending on your community. So that would include signing up at school to help. It could also be just assisting from home. I mean, cutting out letters or things at home. People could do that who work, but they still feel part of the school that way. Coming up for lunch every once in a while, or helping with a school party, or just reading to the class. Different opportunities for that. And then next would be number 7, reach out to the community organizations to gauge interest in the school as well. You've got to start inviting the community into the school so they feel comfortable. And you could have the mayor or the city council come speak at an assembly, or see if there's a business that might tie to the curriculum where you could have a field trip or something like that. So what's best for students? Well, it's best for students when the parents of the community are involved in the school. So PT organizations, parent involvement in the school, it provides numerous benefits for the school. And as I mentioned, financially and educationally. So there has been a PTO organization in the past. So we know that data. Now it's time to revisit it. And maybe a time for the principal to offer to reorganize or look at it from a different perspective. We know from the case study that the principal isn't sure if parents want to be involved. So I think we need some data on why that is. What's going on in the parents' minds? Why aren't they coming to the involvement meeting? And then we also know that 8 parents showed up at the meeting. So let's start with those 8. Let's rally the troops. So it would mean that you can't just have this one meeting and then we're done. You're going to have more and give more opportunities. Hopefully those parents will talk to different people. But I know with our own school, when we had a little bit of low involvement with dads, we had a dad pizza night to try to get them into school and start feeling more comfortable. Or meet with the parents following a program when they're already at the school. Something like that to get them involved and start talking to them. So what was I thinking? Well, why does the principal not want a PTO? For me, there are numerous benefits to a PTO. I do know their work, but I also know that you get so much more from them than what you give. So I think I also was thinking, how am I going to handle that in a professional manner with the principal? And then what is the community like outside the school? Socially, economically, multicultural aspects. And then how can I, as an assistant principal, help the parents see a new perspective on parent involvement that maybe hasn't been seen in the past? What was I feeling? Well, I was sad for kids because parents need to be involved in their education. And then I was confused as to why the principal doesn't want an organized parent organization that could help out the school. And then I was disappointed in the school PR in general because the principal doesn't want to improve it. And here he has this new enthusiastic assistant principal and isn't utilizing that when she wants to do that. What was I valuing? I value parent involvement. So studies show it makes a real big difference in kids' learning. So that's important. I value that schools are the heart of the community. So it should be a place where communities socialize and are part of and enjoy being at. And then I also value parents' input into decisions made at school. And I'm trying to figure out, without a PTO or any kind of parent involvement, how are they having a voice in the school? What issues are unresolved? Well, the principal is still not on board with a PTO, just with an advisory. So how to change that perspective? So we had this meeting, which I think is a first step, but now we need some supportive data in order to make this a bigger deal than it is. I mean, we need community data, surveys, outreach, things like that. How to change parents' mindset on school involvement? Well, you got to get parents to walk through the doors. You got to get them to fill out the survey or to sign up. Or to even come for lunch for a day. So we've got to get some motivation going there, whether it be through social media or however you go about it. And then Mrs. Rose is excited and she's willing to lead. However, she still has to collaborate with the principal. They are a team. So they have to understand that they have to work together on this PR plan. But I do think letting him know that you're willing to do a lot of the legwork and communication will help, but you still have to continue to keep that line open because that's what's best for students. Now taking a look at Standard 7. Component 1, academic success of every student. By being willing to lead and set goals regarding parent and community involvement, parents will become more involved in their child's education. It just will happen. If they're in the classroom, they're going to be asking kids, why do you do that in your classroom? Communication with school and teachers will improve, all those types of things. By leading the parent organization, or even just starting with those 8 parents, and then also researching the community demographics, parents can become more involved in decisions made at the school, and that's going to impact students' academics as well. And then by collaborating and presenting ideas to the principal on how students and the school benefits from having like a PTO, then I'm working to change perspectives and open up new doors to get parents involved. And I think the principal and assistant principal cannot work separately. There has to be collaboration. The well-being of every student. Well, by collecting data and demographics on the community, I can help in better meeting the diverse needs of parents and students. By surveying parents, I can gauge a perspective on how to engage parents in multiple ways. For example, coming up for lunch, cutting things out at home, all those kinds of things. And that still engages conversations among family about what's going on at school. And then by offering to lead the parent organizations, I am working to lead an organization that will support students through event planning, financial fundraising, and numerous other things. Component 3, promotes community engagement. Well, by taking a survey that involves engagement, getting the community opinions on parent involvement and attitude regarding the school. You got to start with those 8 people that did show up. So have a conversation face to face. Why are parents not involved? And that will give you probably your best information. And then work with them to engage their neighbors to come in, to their classmates' parents, and their friends to all become involved. And then continue the conversation time and time again with the principal to assure the school continues to work to involve parents. This is a never-ending process. Community engagement should always be at the forefront for a school, so it's got to be a constant conversation. And then by researching and talking with people, this shows interest in the community structure and traditions. So this is a way to let the community know we do care about who they are and what they think and how to get them involved in school. Thank you. It really is a team effort. It has to be all stakeholders involved. That all families, all the time. That's what it has to be. Thanks.